The biggest mistake that new tutors make, trying to tutor everyone. And that's exactly why they struggle to get fully booked client lists. Today, I'm going to help you find your perfect fit student so you can stop chasing clients and attract the families who are excited to work with you. Stick around because by the end of the video, you'll have a crystal clear picture of exactly who you're going to be marketing to and how to do it. And you'll finally be speaking your ideal customer's language so that they're going to say yes to working with you. Hey friend, welcome back to my channel. I'm Molly and I help you grow your tutoring business in so many ways, whether it's online or in person, or you want to start clubs this summer. We're going to get down to the nitty gritty and get the perfect roadmap laid out for you. And to get your tutoring business lifted and off the ground, you need clients. So I'm going to break that down for you today in this video, and make sure that you are subscribed to the channel because this whole month I'm going to have so many great tutoring tips to get you to the point where you have a sold out summer. First, we need to talk about why it's important to niche down in your tutoring business. So the old saying of when you try to market to everyone, you end up attracting no one. And that's true because your offer is going to be confusing and unclear to the person that's looking at it. And what we want is complete clarity. And we want somebody to read a social media post or see a flyer somewhere or an email and say, that's exactly what my kid needs. I'm going to book that tutor. Having a clear niche helps you stand out in a crowded market, and it allows you to charge the rate that you're clearly worth. We know that you're probably a teacher, you're highly qualified, and you should be able to charge a really decent rate for tutoring. But if you're confused on what you're even tutoring, or you try to market to everybody, you're not going to land your dream client. So you know I'm all about examples here on this channel, so let me give you one that's really concrete. If you were looking to hire a tutor for your child, would you hire a general math tutor? Or let's say your kid is in middle school and you saw a listing for a middle school algebra tutor who specializes in students who struggle with word problems. That is going to attract your ideal client who has that specific problem. When we start speaking the language of our ideal client, then we start attracting them. So I keep saying ideal client, students, so who are they? And you might want to grab some pen and paper, and so you can write down the answers to your questions. This is going to give you clarity so that you can speak with authority in your niche and really hone in on the marketing strategy that you're going to try so that your sold out summer is headed your way. Ask yourself these key questions. What subjects or skills do I love teaching? This really helps us get deep into the niche. So list them all out. It's okay if they're kind of all over the place. You might have a few different things that don't really line up together. That's okay. We need to get them on paper so that we know where to focus and then what is actually ultimately going to be your favorite in the end. The next key question I want you to ask yourself is, what grade level or grade levels do I feel most confident working with? If you have been a middle school teacher for the last 10 years and kindergartners freak you out, you probably don't want to tutor kindergartners. And that is going to be something that you really need to figure out from the get-go, because if you start working with an age group of kids that you just don't enjoy, you're going to get burned out a lot faster. I think it is okay to admit that you don't like a certain age group. It doesn't mean you don't like kids. It means that you like a certain age group that you prefer to work with. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, if you're a kindergarten teacher and you've never taught middle school and middle schoolers freak you out, don't tutor middle school. Like it just won't work well. And I've worked with tutors before who have agreed to tutor a wide variety of things that they weren't passionate about and work with kids that they didn't want to work with, and that didn't last very long. It fizzles out quickly. Okay, the last question you're going to ask yourself and write down is, do I enjoy working with struggling students? Do you prefer gifted learners, or do you like test prep? Those are some quick answers that you could get some clarity on your offer. If you really like working through hard issues with students that are struggling, let's say with a reading intervention, math, whatever it is, then that's going to be who you're targeting. But if you'd rather do enrichment, which this is a great area in tutoring that I think often doesn't get enough of a highlight on it, is you could provide gifted tutoring. There are kids that need enrichment, especially over the summer. They're out of school, their gifted program might not have anything available, and you could offer some kind of enrichment session for them for the few months of school that they're out. There's a lot of tutors I've worked with as well that focused on test prep. This is great for high school and college level. So thinking about how you could help solve a problem for those students who are likely older. Get your answers written down on paper to those 3 questions that we just went over. Again, I love examples, so let's give some example niches that you could potentially fall into. I think it's nice to see an example just because you might not know how to say something or how to word it, but you'll see it on screen and think, oh, that's exactly what I want to do. So let's say you are reading intervention, you want to really zone in on 2nd, 3rd, and 4th graders who struggle with decoding. Perfect. You're going to have a straight pathway to what you need to work on with these kids. The age level is aligned to what you like working with, and you're a reading interventionist. So you have lots of tools in your tool belt to help these kids with their issues. Another example, let's say you love helping with SAT or ACT prep for high schoolers aiming for Ivy League admissions. I've talked to quite a few tutors that love specializing in this. They can help these clients get higher scores on their tests, and they have the track record here, and this is going to be a higher level type of tutoring offer that you could do, and I would love to see you do that one if it's something that interests you and that you have expertise in. Let's say another niche idea could be middle school math. So tutoring middle schoolers in math who need a confidence boost. As a 5th grade teacher myself, I know that when my 5th graders head off to middle school, the math is going to get so much harder and they often have a decline in their confidence. And so this would be a great time to do a summer boot camp, getting kids ready for middle school or helping them get back some of the things that just flew over their head over the school year. You could be that person that helps them in tutoring or in a club or group session. Another way that we get clients on our list is that we have to understand our parent pain points. Now, if you're working with college age kids, then you're going to be talking to them, so their own specific pain points. But regardless, these tips are going to help you no matter who you're talking to. But most of the time when we talk about tutoring, we're going to be interacting with the parent who is paying for the services and who is in charge of their student at home. Most parents aren't just looking for a tutor, they're looking for a solution to their child's problem. So you truly need to understand what's keeping them up at night and market directly to their concerns. So another list of examples I want to give you, some common parent concerns. And if you're a teacher, you might drop in the comments below some that you've heard over time that have been recurring to you, like especially during parent-teacher conference season. I know me, when I sit down to talk with parents, I could tell you a list of 10 things right now that often come up depending on the grade level that I've taught. One of them in 5th grade definitely is middle school nerves, and I gave you an example a few minutes ago on how you could tackle that with math. Okay, so some common parent concerns. My child hates reading and I don't know how to help. I have worked with so many tutors who help solve this problem, and I've seen them do so well because parents aren't trained on how to teach their kids how to read, and that's okay. We go to college for years, we specialize in this, we take extra classes, we work with kids, and they shouldn't have to know how to do everything. And so that's where your tutoring services will really come in handy for them so that they can get a solution to their child's struggle with reading and get ahead of it before it becomes too late. Another parent struggle could be their child bombed their last math test and I'm worried they're going to fall behind. What a great place to start, because not only do you have a piece of data, you have their math test that you could walk through with them, but that could help you create a solution for the next 4, 8, 12 weeks based on what learning standards you know that they need to accomplish. And all of this stuff you can find, you can get from the teacher, you can look up online and create a roadmap for them, especially if math is your thing. This is a great parent concern that you can use as a pain point. Another pain point is we need a high SAT score to get into our dream college. That goes back to the example I gave you before, an ACT or SAT prep tutor. And this is a huge one for our sophomores and our juniors in high school. And you could totally target that category of people and have a booming business that you could have classes. You could do this all online. You could have a pod. You could do a summer boot camp. So many ideas come to mind with just that one. A bonus marketing tip for you here. Remember I said I was going to not only give you examples and give you a plan, but I'm going to give you some marketing ideas too, is that you need to speak to these concerns directly in your social media posts, your emails, and your website. And if you're in a place right now where you don't really have any of those things, that's okay. Start small. Start by opening an Instagram and posting. Start by sending emails to parents you already know. Eventually work towards having your own website where people can book. Especially if you want to take your business full time and not treat it like a hobby, having a website is going to be a chef's kiss as far as your business plan goes, because it's a great way for people to just book and takes you out as the middleman. No more back and forth emails, no more texting. It's just book a service right here and there. Okay, so let's go through some examples again of how you can market yourself in these situations. So if you just said, I offer reading tutoring, that is too vague. We need to get more descriptive. So again, I help second, third, and fourth graders who struggle with decoding, and I help them become confident readers in just 8 weeks. Doesn't that sound so much better than I offer reading tutoring? I think you're catching on now. Clear, compelling, and it speaks to the parents' needs directly. Okay, so we've talked about what you need to say, how you need clients, but where do we find these clients? We have to explore this option today so you can leave this video feeling like, oh, I have a plan. You will have to really hone in on who your ideal client is. So once you know who your ideal student is, you need to know where their parents hang out, because that's going to be the source of how they sign up. If you're marketing in the wrong places, you'll struggle to get inquiries and you'll have a dead, dusty, crusty list that nobody is on, and that's not how you fill out your offers and make your income. Okay, so some of my favorite places to find parents is Facebook groups. So you have to be careful with these though, because you can't always just pitch a sales offer like, oh, I offer this tutoring, blah, 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 blah. You really need to follow the rules of the group. But there are mom group, parent groups, and different types of groups on Facebook where you can actually see the problems that people are talking about. So moms might comment like, my student is really struggling with reading. They're in second grade. The teacher says they've tried X, Y, and Z. Nothing is working. What do you think? Well, there you could answer that and say what you would do, or you could let them know about private tutoring without being pitchy, without being salesy. And that's something you're just going to have to get practice on and just explore those Facebook groups. It's also worthwhile to be visible on Instagram. That's my favorite social media platform. TikTok as well. I've seen many tutors blow up on TikTok. So just customizing it to your niche and answering questions for people, being helpful and being available. That is just the key right there. You just have to show up or else people aren't going to know about you. Another great place to find clients is local libraries. You could inquire about posting a flyer. There are homeschooling groups all the time whose parents are looking for supplementation for their own homeschooling services, after school programs as well. If you're not exploring all these options and then still scratching your head why you don't have clients, then there's your answer. You need to get yourself out there. Now that you know how to find your ideal tutoring client, you need to make sure that your tutoring offer is crystal clear so parents feel completely confident about working with you and clicking book on your website. We talked about that in last week's video, so make sure you go back and watch that one, because remember, I've got a whole series of tutoring videos coming up this month and you don't want to miss them. They all kind of go sequentially in order. What subject and grade level do you want to specialize in? Tell me in the comments below. I think it really helps to actually type it out. Type it out like you're pitching it to someone. Let's see it and I'll give you some feedback below. And don't forget to subscribe, because every week, I told you this month, I'm going to have a tutoring video and you don't want to miss them. They go in order. They're really going to help you build. And I'm covering exactly how to create a tutoring offer that gets parents to say yes fast. In the meantime, you're definitely going to want to save your seat for Sold Out Summer, which is the masterclass I teach only once a year. The wait list is open now, so click in the description box below to save your spot. It's a 1-hour jam-packed masterclass where I give you all of my trade secrets on how to have a sold out summer year after year, and you can steal all of my templates and how I email parents, what I post on social media, everything, and I'll deep dive in that 1-hour class. But you need to save your seats because spots are limited, so click in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.